Welcome to part 1 of Rewiring the Brain, the first in a 3-part series where we'll be discussing how your brain works and what it means to rewire your brain. Did you know that the brain contains around 100 million neurons, each connected to thousands of other neurons, forming trillions of connections? This incredible network of neurons allows our brain to process information, store memories, and control our behavior. But what's even more amazing is that these connections can change and reorganize themselves in response to new experiences, a process known as neuroplasticity. By understanding and harnessing the power of neuroplasticity, we can learn to reshape our brains and transform our lives. Hello, I'm Kristen Clark, a certified axiogenics coach and co-author of the book, Living a Richer Life. It's all in your head. I help people uncover the thinking that has shaped their mindsets and with some simple changes in their perspective help them make their lives work much better. If you struggle with thought patterns that you'd like to change, don't wait any longer. See the link below to take the first step to schedule an introductory session personally with me to start your journey towards self-leadership and greater success. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe to this video to stay up to date on our latest content. The brain is responsible for processing millions of pieces of information every second of our lives. However, most of this processing happens outside of our conscious awareness. Our brains constantly filter and organize information, make connections and associations, and influence our behavior without us even realizing it. This means that the majority of our thinking is actually subconscious. It is estimated that we have over 50,000 thoughts per day, and up to 95% of our thoughts, emotions, and behavior are determined by our subconscious mind. Now, this can be both a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, our subconscious mind is responsible for many of the automatic processes that keep us alive and functioning. We don't have to consciously think about how to breathe, digest food, or how to walk. These processes are controlled by our subconscious mind. On the other hand, our subconscious mind can hold us back. It can be responsible for our negative thought patterns, limited beliefs, and self-sabotaging behaviors. These patterns can be difficult to change because they are deeply ingrained in our subconscious. Now that we have a better understanding of the subconscious mind, let's explore the concept of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to change and adapt in response to the experiences throughout our lives. This powerful ability plays a crucial role in helping us rewire our subconscious patterns. By consciously changing our thoughts and behaviors, we can create new neural pathways in our brains. These new pathways can then become our default pattern of thinking and behavior. We can intentionally practice a new behavior over and over again until it becomes automatic. For example, think back to learning how to drive a car or something else complex. In the beginning, it required a tremendous amount of energy. Not only did you have to learn how to operate the machine, the gas, the brakes, the turn signals, but you had to also remember the rules of the road. And don't even get me started if you had to learn how to drive a manual or stick shift car. At first, putting all of this new information together seemed unnatural, methodical, cumbersome, maybe even overwhelming. However, over time, as new neural pathways were created, your brain became more efficient, and with lots of practice, driving a car almost becomes second nature. Mental habits are programmed into our brain, usually slowly over time, by forming new neural pathways that remember thought patterns, like learning how to drive a car. These neural pathways serve us pretty well most of the time. However, sometimes neural pathways get programmed without our permission or consent. As a child, for example, if you struggled with reading, neural pathways begin forming, connecting your experience with reading with your thoughts about yourself. This is true of anything that happens in childhood, or the rest of your life for that matter. Before you know it, your experiences are connected with the idea that you're not smart enough or good enough. The words your parent or teacher said to you, or boss, or spouse, or anyone else important in your life made an impression that helped form the neural pathways that made you, you. And even though that experience happened years ago, whenever you feel unsure or self-doubt, often subconsciously, your brain still connects to that experience of not measuring up. But it doesn't have to stay that way. As we've seen, neuroplasticity offers tremendous potential for transforming our lives. One way to harness this power is through mindfulness practices. In this next section, we'll explore how mindfulness can help us rewire our brains for better mental well-being and personal growth. Mindfulness is the practice of being present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without self-judgment. It is about being fully engaged in the present moment rather than being lost in thoughts about the past or the future. Mindfulness has been shown to have many benefits, including reducing stress and anxiety, improving focus and attention, and increasing overall well-being. When we practice mindfulness, we are essentially training our brains to be more aware and focused. This increased awareness can help us recognize negative thought patterns and emotions that are holding us back. By being more aware of these negative patterns, we can then decide to intentionally change them. For example, let's say you have a negative belief about yourself that I'm not good enough. This belief may have been formed at an early age, like we talked about earlier, and is now deeply ingrained in your subconscious. While you may not know how this pattern was programmed into your subconscious, once you become aware of it, pay attention to how you are thinking and feeling. This will help you notice the pattern more quickly in the future. You can then challenge your thinking and ask yourself whether this pattern is accurate or true today. Think about the proof or evidence of your thinking. Most likely, you will realize that your thinking is not accurate or true. In the future, when you notice this kind of thinking, you can replace it with something you know to be true about yourself, a more positive belief like, I am worthy and capable. Over time, with practice, this new belief can become your default pattern of thinking. While mindfulness can help us become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, deliberate practice is essential for turning that awareness into lasting change. In this next section, we'll discuss how engaging in focused, intentional practice can help us rewire our brains and achieve our goals. When we repeatedly engage in a particular behavior, our brain creates new neural pathways that make that behavior easier to perform in the future, like driving a car. The more we use a particular neural pathway, the stronger it becomes. On the other hand, if we reroute our thinking with a new neural pathway, bypassing a negative pattern, that old negative neural pathway will weaken. Finally, another mindfulness tool that you can practice to rewire your brain and maintain positive changes is gratitude. In our last section, we'll explore the importance of gratitude in reinforcing healthy brain patterns, boosting our well-being, and improving our overall quality of life. By intentionally focusing on the positive aspects of your life, it's possible to create new neural pathways that make it easier to stay optimistic and resilient in the face of challenges. A gratitude journal can be used to help shift your focus to the positive aspects of your life. At first, it may seem unnatural to write down things you are grateful for each day. However, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Remember, as you continue to practice gratitude, your brain will begin to create new neural pathways that make it easier for you to focus on the positive aspects of your life. Research also supports the use of gratitude journals as an effective tool for improving a positive mindset. Studies show that participants who wrote in a gratitude journal for just 3 weeks reported improved mood, greater optimism, and increased satisfaction with their lives. Another study showed that writing just 15 minutes before bedtime reduced levels of stress and improved sleep quality compared to those who didn't keep a gratitude journal. And a meta-analysis of 27 studies published in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that gratitude interventions, such as writing in a gratitude journal or even taking just a few minutes per day to think about the people and/or things that you are grateful for, were associated with increased well-being and life satisfaction, a more positive outlook, and decreased negative attitude. Overall, research suggests that keeping a gratitude journal is an effective way to improve a positive mindset, reduce stress, and enhance well-being. By intentionally focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we can create new neural pathways that make it easier to stay optimistic and resilient in the face of challenges. It is important to understand, though, that rewiring our brains is not a quick or easy process. It requires consistent effort and intentional practice. It's also important to recognize that not all neural pathways are created equal. Some neural pathways are stronger than others, and it can be difficult to change deeply ingrained patterns of thinking and behaving. However, with consistent effort and practice, it is possible to create new neural pathways and shift our default pattern of thinking and behaving. In conclusion, the majority of our thinking is automatic and subconscious, which can be both a blessing and a curse. However, using the power of neuroplasticity, we can learn to intentionally rewire our brains to change our default patterns of thinking and behaving. Mindfulness and intentional practices are two ways to create new neural pathways and shift our focus to more positive thoughts and behavior. In the next video in this series, we will explore how our stress and environment can influence our brain's ability to change and rewire itself. Lastly, thanks for joining us for part 1 of this series on rewiring the brain. If you struggle with thought patterns that you'd like to change, don't wait any longer. See the link below to schedule an introductory session with me personally to start your journey towards self-leadership and creating greater success. Thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe to this video to stay up to date on our content.